In the quiet suburbs of a small coastal town, a weathered mailbox stood at the end of a modest driveway. Inside lay a letter, carefully written in a child's handwriting, that would spark a chain of events nobody could have predicted. The letter belonged to 8-year-old Lily, a bright-eyed girl whose world had been turned upside down 3 years ago when her father suddenly walked out of their lives. Lily lived with her mother, Priya, who worked 2 jobs to keep their small house afloat. Every morning, Priya would drop Lily off at her grandmother's house, before heading to her first shift at the local diner. The young girl would often sit by the window, watching other children walk to school with both their parents, her small fingers tracing patterns on the foggy glass. That morning had started like any other, but something felt different. Lily had spent the entire previous night writing and rewriting her letter, her tiny desk illuminated by a butterfly-shaped night light. The words she crafted came straight from her heart, each sentence carefully thought out as she poured her feelings onto the paper. The letter began simply, "Dear Papa, I hope you remember me. I'm taller now, and my front tooth finally grew back." As she wrote, tears had smudged some of the ink, but she kept going. She wrote about her school achievements, about winning the science fair with her project on butterflies, and about how she still kept the small wooden elephant he had carved for her 6th birthday. But it wasn't just updates about her life. Lily wrote about the night she heard her mother crying in the kitchen when she thought everyone was asleep. She wrote about how her grandmother would sometimes look at old family photos and wipe her eyes quickly when Lily walked into the room. Most importantly, she wrote about how much she missed him and how she still believed he was the best father in the world, despite everything. The morning she decided to mail the letter, Lily had sneaked out early, before her mother woke up. Her grandmother, who lived next door, spotted her from the garden but didn't stop her. Instead, the elderly woman watched with a mixture of concern and hope as her granddaughter carefully placed the envelope in the mailbox and raised the red flag with determination. As days turned into weeks, Lily checked the mailbox religiously every afternoon after school. Her mother noticed the new routine but didn't ask questions. Priya had her own suspicions about what her daughter had done, but something held her back from intervening. Perhaps it was the spark of hope she saw in Lily's eyes, something she hadn't witnessed since that rainy Sunday morning when her husband had packed his bags and walked away. The story began to spread through their close-knit community. The local postal worker, Mrs. Chen, who had known Lily since she was a baby, made it her personal mission to handle the letter with extra care. She had seen the carefully written address, the multiple stamps, Lily wasn't sure how many were needed, and the small heart stickers decorating the corners. At school, Lily's best friend, May, would join her in creating elaborate stories about where the letter might be traveling. "Maybe it's crossing the ocean right now," May would say during lunch breaks, making Lily smile through her worry. Their teacher, Ms. Rodriguez, noticed how Lily would now write stories during creative writing class about families reuniting, each one filled with hope and possibility. The waiting period changed something in their household. Lily started helping more around the house, as if preparing for a special guest. She organized her father's old books that her mother had hidden in the attic, dusted his favorite reading chair, and even attempted to fix the old cuckoo clock he used to wind every Sunday morning. Priya watched these changes with a heavy heart. She wanted to protect her daughter from disappointment, but she also understood the power of hope. During their evening routine, while braiding Lily's hair before bed, Priya would share happy memories of their family, something she hadn't done in years. It was as if the letter had opened a door they had all kept tightly shut. The local community rallied around them in subtle ways. Mr. Patel from the corner store would always add an extra candy to Lily's bag, while Mrs. Thompson from the library would save new butterfly books for her regular visits. Even their elderly neighbor, Mr. Kim, who rarely spoke to anyone, started leaving fresh vegetables from his garden on their doorstep. 1 month after sending the letter, during a particularly heavy rainstorm, Lily sat at her window seat, watching raindrops race down the glass. She had developed a habit of creating stories about each raindrop, imagining they were carrying messages from distant places. That's when she noticed a figure standing by their mailbox, completely drenched, holding what appeared to be a familiar envelope. The sight made her heart stop. The paper was worn, as if it had traveled thousands of miles, but she recognized her own handwriting, the flower doodles on the corners, and the excessive number of stamps. The man holding it stood motionless, reading and rereading the contents as rain poured down around him. Lily's grandmother, who had been watching from her porch, slowly made her way across the lawn. She approached the man, her son, with cautious steps. Words weren't needed, the years of absence hung heavy between them. But when he looked up, his eyes filled with tears matched the rain streaming down his face. The sound of the front door opening drew their attention. Priya stood there, frozen, with one hand gripping the doorframe. Behind her, Lily peeked out, her small face a mixture of disbelief and joy. The letter had found its way home, and with it, the beginning of a story that would change their lives overnight. But this was just the beginning. The real journey of healing, understanding, and rebuilding was about to unfold. The little girl's letter had done what years of adult conversations couldn't. It had broken down walls built by pride, misunderstanding, and fear, replacing them with a child's pure hope and unconditional love. As the rain continued to fall, the small family stood in tableau, each person processing the weight of this moment differently. The letter, now soft and weathered from its journey, had accomplished its purpose. It had brought a father home, not to the same home he had left, but to one that had grown stronger through adversity, one ready to begin a new chapter. The neighborhood watched from behind curtains and windows as the scene unfolded, each person holding their breath, hoping that this reunion would mark the beginning of healing for the family they had all grown to love and protect. The little girl's letter had indeed changed everything overnight, but the real story was just beginning. The days following the rainy reunion were filled with a delicate dance of emotions. Raj, Lily's father, had taken a small room at the local inn rather than immediately moving back home. It was a decision that showed both respect for the family's space and acknowledgement that trust needed to be rebuilt slowly. Every afternoon, Lily would rush from school to meet her father at the town's small park. They started with short walks, their conversations initially awkward and filled with long pauses. Raj learned about the past 3 years of his daughter's life through small details. Her favorite ice cream flavor had changed from chocolate to strawberry, she'd developed a fear of thunderstorms, and she'd learned to play the recorder in music class. The local diner became their special meeting place. They would sit in the corner booth, where Lily would spread out her homework while Raj helped her with math problems. The diner's owner, Uncle G, would watch them with careful eyes, remembering the days when he had consoled Priya during her darkest moments. He would serve them extra portions of fries, his own quiet way of blessing their reunion. Priya struggled with her own emotions during this time. During her breaks at work, she would sit in her car, allowing herself moments of vulnerability that she couldn't show at home. Her coworker and close friend, Aunt Rita, noticed how her hands would shake slightly whenever Raj's name was mentioned. "Time doesn't heal everything," Rita would say, "but it teaches us how to carry our wounds better." The truth about Raj's disappearance emerged gradually. He had been struggling with depression, something he'd hidden from everyone. The pressure of providing for his family, coupled with losing his job during company downsizing, had created a storm in his mind that he couldn't weather. Instead of reaching out for help, he had convinced himself that his family would be better off without him. During those 3 years, he had moved from city to city, taking odd jobs and living in small rooms. But it was his work at a children's shelter in a neighboring state that had begun his healing process. Watching children who had been abandoned helped him understand the depth of his own actions. When Lily's letter arrived at the shelter, forwarded through a chain of his old addresses, it broke through the last walls he had built around his heart. Grandmother, whom everyone called Nanny, played a crucial role in the family's healing process. Her small house became neutral ground where they could all gather without the pressure of their past. She would cook their favorite meals, filling the house with the aromas of cardamom and coriander, creating a space where difficult conversations could happen over warm cups of chai. One evening, as Lily played in the garden, Raj and Priya sat at Nanny's kitchen table, really talking for the first time. "I was drowning," Raj admitted, his voice barely a whisper, "and I didn't know how to ask for help." Priya listened, her hands wrapped tightly around her teacup, as he shared about his journey through therapy and healing. The community continued to watch and support in their own ways. Mr. Kim expanded his vegetable garden, making sure there were always extra fresh vegetables for both households. Mrs. Chen, the postal worker, would share updates about the family's progress during her daily rounds, spreading hope through the neighborhood like seeds in spring. At school, Lily began to blossom in new ways. Her art teacher noticed how her drawings changed from single butterflies to entire families of them, flying together through colorful skies. During show and tell, she proudly shared the new wooden sculptures her father carved for her, each one carrying a small message of love. The healing wasn't without its challenges. There were days when old fears would surface, when Lily would panic if her father was 5 minutes late to their meeting spot. Raj never missed a single meeting, arriving early and waiting patiently, understanding that consistency was the key to rebuilding trust. Priya faced her own battles. During family therapy sessions, she voiced her fears and anger, learning to balance protecting her daughter with allowing space for reconciliation. The therapist helped them understand that healing wasn't about forgetting the past, but about building a stronger future together. One significant moment came during Lily's school play. She had been cast as a wise owl in a forest-themed production, and for the first time in 3 years, both her parents sat in the audience together. Watching from backstage, Ms. Rodriguez saw how Lily's face lit up when she spotted them sitting side by side, even though they maintained a respectful distance. The town's annual spring festival became a turning point for the family. Raj had been helping with the preparations, using his carpentry skills to build game booths and repair old decorations. Seeing him contribute to the community helped change people's perceptions, and slowly, the whispers of judgment turned into murmurs of support. During the festival, Lily performed a dance with her class. As she twirled in her colorful costume, her eyes kept darting to where her parents stood. Priya found herself unconsciously leaning closer to Raj as they watched their daughter, their shared pride creating a bridge over the gulf between them. Later that evening, as lanterns illuminated the town square, Lily sat between her parents eating cotton candy. A photograph captured that moment, her blue-stained smile, Raj's gentle hand on her shoulder, and Priya's soft gaze. It wasn't perfect, but it was real, and it showed how far they had come from that rainy day when a weather-worn letter brought them back together. The story of the little girl's letter continued to ripple through the community, reminding people that hope often. As summer approached, changes began taking root in the small coastal town. Raj had moved from the inn to a small apartment just a few blocks from his family's home. His new living space slowly filled with Lily's artwork and the sound of her laughter during their weekend visits. The apartment became a symbol of his commitment to rebuilding their relationship, close enough to be present, but separate enough to respect boundaries. The healing process revealed itself in unexpected ways. During one of their afternoon walks, Lily stumbled upon an injured bird in the park. Without hesitation, she scooped it up, looking to her father for guidance. Raj's gentle handling of the wounded creature showed Lily a side of him she had missed deeply, the patient, caring father who had taught her to be kind to all living things. They brought the bird home, creating a makeshift recovery space in a shoebox. Over the next few weeks, caring for the injured bird became a family project. Priya would change its water before leaving for work, Lily would carefully feed it, and Raj would check its healing progress. The bird's recovery paralleled their own journey, fragile at first, but growing stronger with each passing day. At work, Priya noticed subtle shifts in her own behavior. She started accepting help from others, something she had refused to do during the years of raising Lily alone. Her colleagues watched as the defensive wall she had built began to lower, revealing glimpses of the woman she used to be before heartbreak had hardened her edges. One particularly meaningful moment came when Raj attended his first therapy session with both Priya and Lily. The family counselor, Dr. Patel, created a safe space where they could express their fears and hopes. Lily spoke about her worry that her father might disappear again, while Priya voiced her struggle with trust. Raj listened, his eyes filled with tears, as he promised to spend the rest of his life making amends. The town's summer fair brought another opportunity for growth. Raj had volunteered to help build new playground equipment for the children's area. Word spread quickly, and soon other parents joined him in the project. Working alongside the community members who had supported his family in his absence became a form of silent redemption. During the fair, Lily's school choir performed. As she sang with her classmates, her voice carrying across the crowd, both her parents stood together, their shoulders almost touching. The simple act of watching their daughter perform something they had missed doing together for 3 years carried the weight of both regret and hope. The renovation of the old playground became a turning point. Raj's craftsmanship attracted attention, leading to small job offers from neighbors. Soon, he had enough work to open a small woodworking shop in town. The shop became another healing space, where he could channel his emotions into creating beautiful things while building a stable future for his family. Lily would often visit the shop after school, sitting on a worn wooden stool, doing her homework amid the scent of sawdust and varnish. She loved watching her father work, his hands steady and sure as they shaped wood into beautiful forms. Sometimes, she would find small wooden trinkets on her stool, a tiny carved butterfly, a miniature carousel, each one a silent message of love. The summer brought more changes to their routine. Family dinners, once a distant memory, became a weekly event at Nanny's house. The elderly woman would beam as she watched her son help in the kitchen, teaching Lily the family recipes he had learned in his youth. These evenings were filled with the aromas of home-cooked meals and the sound of cautious laughter. One evening, as they sat on Nanny's porch watching fireflies, Lily asked the question that had been weighing on her heart, "Are you going to stay forever this time?" The silence that followed was heavy with emotion. Raj pulled his daughter close, his voice thick with conviction as he promised that he would never leave again. Priya, watching from the doorway, felt something shift in her heart, not forgiveness exactly, but the beginning of understanding. The local library became another sanctuary for their healing family. Ms. Thompson, the librarian, started a family reading program, and they became regular participants. Sitting together in the library's cozy corner, taking turns reading stories aloud, they created new memories to layer over the painful ones. As summer progressed, the town witnessed more signs of the family's renewal. Raj began coaching the local children's baseball team, something he had done before his departure. Watching him teach young players, including Lily, showed the community his commitment to not just his family, but to making amends with everyone his actions had affected. Their story began to inspire others in unexpected ways. Other families dealing with separation started seeking advice from Priya, who found herself sharing her journey of resilience and forgiveness. The little girl's letter had sparked a ripple effect of healing that stretched beyond their own family circle. The transformation wasn't just in their relationships, it showed in small, everyday moments. Lily's nightmares became less frequent. Priya's smile reached her eyes more often. Raj's shoulders carried less tension. They were learning to be a family again, different from before, but somehow stronger for having been broken and rebuilt. As autumn painted the coastal town in warm colors, the family's healing journey entered a new phase. Raj's woodworking business had grown enough to rent a proper workshop downtown, where the constant hum of machinery and scent of fresh wood created a comforting atmosphere. Local customers began commissioning custom pieces, drawn not just by his craftsmanship but by the visible love he poured into each creation. Lily had started 4th grade, and her teacher noticed remarkable changes in her behavior. Once quiet and reserved, she now participated enthusiastically in class discussions. Her writing assignments, which often featured themes of forgiveness and reunion, touched both students and teachers alike. The little girl who had written that life-changing letter was growing more confident each day. One crisp Saturday morning, while helping her father in his workshop, Lily discovered a dusty box tucked away on a high shelf. Inside were dozens of unopened envelopes, all addressed to Priya and Lily, written during the years of Raj's absence, but never sent. Each letter contained his thoughts, regrets, and love, documenting his journey through depression and eventual healing. That evening, Raj shared the letters with Priya after Lily had gone to bed. They sat at the kitchen table, the same one where they had shared countless meals in happier times, and began reading. Hours passed as Priya absorbed the written testament of his struggles, tears falling silently onto the aged paper. These letters revealed a deeper truth about mental health and the importance of seeking help. The discovery of the letters prompted Raj to organize a mental health awareness event at the community center. He shared his story publicly for the first time, speaking about depression, the stigma surrounding mental health in their culture, and the importance of reaching out for help. His courage inspired others to come forward with their own stories, creating a support network within the community. Priya found herself drawn into this initiative, using her experience as a survivor of abandonment to help other families dealing with similar situations. Together, they became advocates for mental health awareness, turning their pain into purpose. The community center started hosting regular support group meetings, where people could share their struggles without judgment. As autumn progressed, Lily's birthday approached, the first one they would celebrate as a reunited family. The preparation brought both joy and tension, as memories of missed birthdays hung in the air. Raj spent weeks in his workshop, crafting a special surprise, a detailed dollhouse, complete with tiny furniture and working lights, each piece made with meticulous care and love. The birthday celebration became a town event, with neighbors and friends gathering in their backyard. Uncle G brought a 3-tiered cake from his diner, Mrs. Chen arranged a special male-themed scavenger hunt, and Mr. Kim contributed vegetables from his garden for the feast. The party represented more than just Lily's birthday, it was a celebration of family, community, and second chances. During the party, Lily surprised everyone by giving her father a gift, a handmade book filled with drawings and stories about their family. The last page held the original draft of the letter that had brought him home, carefully preserved by her grandmother. There wasn't a dry eye in the gathering as Raj held his daughter close, both of them understanding the precious gift of their renewed relationship. The changing season brought new traditions to their family. Sunday afternoons were dedicated to family projects in Raj's workshop, where Lily learned to sand wood and make simple designs. Priya would join them, gradually finding comfort in these shared moments. Sometimes, they would work in comfortable silence, other times, they would share stories and dreams for the future. At school, Lily's experience began inspiring other children facing family challenges. Her teacher created a letter-writing project, encouraging students to express their feelings through words. The project helped many children process their own family situations, proving that Lily's brave act of writing to her father had far-reaching effects. The family's healing journey attracted attention from a local newspaper, which wanted to feature their story. After careful consideration, they agreed, hoping their experience might help other families in similar situations. The article emphasized the importance of mental health support, family counseling, and the power of a community's love. Raj's woodworking shop became a gathering place for local youth interested in learning the craft. He started offering weekend workshops, teaching basic carpentry skills while subtly mentoring children from challenging family situations. The workshop became known as a safe space where kids could talk about their problems while learning to create beautiful things with their hands. As winter approached, the family faced another milestone, their first holiday season together since Raj's return. They decided to host a community dinner, opening their home to others who might be struggling with family separation or loneliness. The gesture reflected their understanding that healing happens not in isolation, but in connection with others. The preparation for the holiday dinner brought its own form of therapy. Working together to clean, cook, and decorate helped them establish new patterns of interaction. Priya and Raj found themselves sharing quiet moments in the kitchen, their familiar cooking rhythm returning naturally. Lily flitted between them, soaking in the warmth of their reunited family. Their story became a testament to the power of a child's love and the possibility of redemption. The little girl's letter had not just changed their family overnight, it had triggered a wave of healing that continued to ripple through their community, touching lives in ways they never could have imagined. Winter settled over the coastal town like a soft blanket, bringing with it new challenges and opportunities for the healing family. The holiday dinner they hosted became a monthly tradition, transforming their home into a sanctuary for others facing similar struggles. The aroma of home-cooked meals and the warmth of shared stories filled their house every last Sunday of the month. Lily's progress at school continued to impress her teachers. During the winter art fair, she displayed a series of paintings depicting her family's journey. Using colors and shapes to express emotions she couldn't put into words, she created a visual story that moved visitors to tears. The centerpiece was a painting of a mailbox under a rainbow, the moment that changed everything. Raj's woodworking business flourished in unexpected ways. A local art gallery owner, impressed by the emotional depth of his work, offered to display some of his pieces. His first exhibition, titled Letters in Wood, featured sculptures inspired by Lily's letter. Each piece told a story of separation and reunion, carved into cedar and pine with delicate precision. The exhibition opening drew people from neighboring towns. As visitors moved through the gallery, Raj shared the story behind each piece. One sculpture, a twisted tree with paper-thin wooden leaves, carved to look like letters, particularly touched people. Each leaf contained a message of hope, inspired by words from Lily's original letter. Priya found herself growing stronger in ways she hadn't expected. The local community college offered her a part-time position teaching a course on resilience and family dynamics. Drawing from her experience, she helped other single parents navigate their challenges. Her classes became popular, not for their academic content alone, but for the real-life wisdom she shared. During a heavy snowstorm, the family found themselves trapped at home for 3 days. What could have been a tense situation became a precious opportunity for bonding. They built pillow forts in the living room, played board games by candlelight when the power went out, and shared stories they'd never told before. In the quiet moments between activities, they found their rhythms aligning naturally. Lily's relationship with both parents deepened in different ways. With her father, she discovered a shared love for creating things with their hands. Together, they started a project building birdhouses for the community park. With her mother, she developed a new appreciation for strength and resilience, often helping her prepare for her college lectures. The family therapy sessions evolved into group sessions, where they helped other families navigate reconciliation. Dr. Patel noted how their story inspired others to believe in the possibility of healing. The little girl who wrote a letter had unknowingly started a movement of hope in their community. One particularly meaningful project emerged when Raj and Lily began designing a letter box for the community park. Unlike ordinary mailboxes, this one was meant for children to write letters to loved ones they missed. The box, beautifully carved with butterflies and leaves, became a symbol of hope for other families working through separation. As winter deepened, Priya noticed subtle changes in their home's atmosphere. The tension that had lingered in corners slowly dissipated. Photos of their life before the separation, once hidden away, found their way back onto walls and shelves, now joined by new memories they were creating together. The workshop's youth program expanded, with Raj teaching not just woodworking but life lessons through craft. He shared how working with wood taught him patience, the importance of fixing mistakes, and the beauty of imperfection. Many children found healing through creating, just as he had. One snowy evening, while cleaning the workshop, Lily discovered her father's journal from his time away. With his permission, she read entries that helped her understand the depth of his struggle and the magnitude of his journey back to them. This understanding sparked deeper conversations about mental health within their family. The community center invited them to lead a workshop series called Rebuilding Bridges, focusing on family reconciliation. Each family member contributed their perspective, Lily through art, Raj through woodworking, and Priya through storytelling. Their combined approach helped other families find their own paths to healing. As winter began to wane, they received news that their story had inspired a regional support network for families dealing with separation. Other communities began implementing similar programs, using their experience as a template for healing and reconciliation. The little girl's letter had grown beyond their family, becoming a catalyst for change in ways they never imagined. It proved that sometimes the most powerful agents of healing are the simplest acts of love, written in a child's hand, carried by hope, and delivered at exactly the right moment. As spring approached, bringing new life to the coastal town, the family faced perhaps their biggest challenge yet. Raj received a job offer from a prestigious furniture company in another city, an opportunity that could secure their financial future but would require significant changes. The news stirred up old anxieties and brought their progress to a critical test. Lily's reaction to the news revealed how far they'd come in healing, yet how fragile that healing remained. She spent hours in her room, working on a new letter, this time not to bring her father home, but to express her fears about him leaving again. The parallels weren't lost on anyone in the family. During family therapy, they addressed the situation head-on. Dr. Patel helped them navigate their emotions as they discussed various options. Lily spoke about her fear of history repeating itself, while Priya voiced concerns about uprooting their life when stability had finally returned. Raj listened intently, understanding that his decisions now carried the weight of their past experiences. The solution emerged unexpectedly during a community dinner at their house. Uncle G, hearing about their dilemma, suggested a compromise: the furniture company could open a satellite workshop in their town, with Raj managing local operations. The idea sparked a series of conversations that would reshape their future. Raj approached the company with the proposal, explaining how the coastal town's artisanal atmosphere and lower operating costs could benefit their business. He shared his story of rebuilding family bonds and community ties, emphasizing the unique perspective it gave him on creating furniture that brought families together. While negotiations proceeded, life continued its steady rhythm. Lily's school announced a special project focused on community impact, inspired largely by how her letter had transformed their town. Students were encouraged to identify problems in their community and propose solutions through written communication. Priya's college course expanded to include a section on family business dynamics, drawing from their current experience. She invited successful family business owners to speak to her class, showing students how personal relationships and professional goals could strengthen rather than conflict with each other. The workshop became a hub of activity as Raj balanced his current projects with preparations for potential expansion. Local craftsmen, excited about the possibility of new opportunities, offered their support. The community's response showed how deeply intertwined their family's story had become with the town's identity. One afternoon, while helping her father organize the workshop, Lily discovered a collection of letters from other children who had used the letter box in the park. Each one told a story of family struggles, hopes, and dreams. Reading them together, father and daughter realized that their journey had become a source of hope for others facing similar challenges. The furniture company's representatives visited the town to evaluate the proposal. They were impressed not just by the business potential, but by the strong community spirit they witnessed. The sight of children learning woodworking after school, families working on projects together, and the visible impact of Raj's program on the community proved more convincing than any business plan. When the company agreed to establish a satellite workshop, the celebration spread throughout the town. It wasn't just a business victory, it was a testament to the power of community support and the importance of putting family first. The decision meant that Raj could advance his career while maintaining the precious stability they had built. The planning for the new workshop became a family affair. Lily contributed design ideas for a children's corner where young visitors could safely learn about woodworking. Priya helped develop a business plan that incorporated community engagement and education. The project represented their evolution from a broken family to a strong unit working together toward common goals. Spring brought more changes as construction began on the new workshop space. The community pitched in, with local contractors offering discounted services and neighbors volunteering their time. Even Mr. Kim expanded his vegetable garden to include herbs that could be used to naturally scent the wood finishes. During this busy period, Lily started a project of her own, a book documenting the impact of her original letter. She interviewed community members, collected stories from the letter box, and took photographs of families who had been touched by their journey. The project became a living testament to how one child's act of love could transform an entire community. The season of renewal brought with it a sense of coming full circle. The family that had been broken and rebuilt was now helping others build their own foundations. The little girl's letter had not only changed their lives overnight, it had sparked a continuing story of hope, healing, and the power of second chances. The grand opening of the new workshop marked a milestone in their journey. The renovated warehouse space, with its gleaming windows and modern equipment, represented far more than a business expansion. It symbolized a family's complete transformation. The building featured a unique design that Raj had created, incorporating elements from Lily's original letter into its architecture. The community gathered for the opening ceremony on a bright spring morning. Local officials, company representatives, and townspeople filled the space, many holding handmade signs celebrating the family's achievement. Lily, wearing a dress she had helped design with fabric printed with tiny mailboxes, stood proudly between her parents as they cut the ribbon together. Inside, the workshop was divided into distinct areas. The main production floor housed state-of-the-art equipment for furniture making. A separate section was dedicated to community classes and youth programs. The children's corner, designed by Lily, featured child-sized workbenches and tools, making woodworking accessible to young learners. The walls displayed a timeline of their journey, starting with a framed copy of Lily's letter. Photographs, newspaper clippings, and wooden artifacts traced their path from separation to reunion to community impact. The exhibition drew emotional responses from visitors, many seeing their own stories reflected in the family's journey. The furniture company's decision to invest in their town had ripple effects throughout the community. Local businesses experienced increased activity, new families moved to the area attracted by the opportunities, and the town's artisanal reputation grew. The workshop became a model for how business success and family values could coexist and strengthen each other. Priya's role evolved as well. She began conducting workshops on family business dynamics at the new facility, bringing her academic expertise into practical application. Her courses now included hands-on components, with students learning about business management while working on actual projects in the workshop. Lily's book project gained unexpected attention when a regional publisher expressed interest. The publisher saw potential in sharing their story with a wider audience, recognizing how it could inspire other families facing similar challenges. The process of working on the book brought new depths to their family discussions as they revisited their journey from different perspectives. The letterbox in the park became an official town landmark, with regular ceremonies held for children to share their letters publicly if they chose. The tradition helped other families open dialogues about difficult topics, using the power of written words to bridge emotional gaps. Social workers began recommending letter writing as a therapeutic tool, citing their family's story as evidence of its potential impact. One particularly moving moment came when a group of children from the youth program presented Raj with their own letter. They had written about how learning woodworking had helped them cope with their own family challenges. The letter, written on wooden paper they had crafted themselves, now hung prominently in the workshop's entrance. The satellite workshop's success led to unexpected opportunities. Other companies began approaching Raj about implementing similar community-integrated business models. He found himself traveling occasionally to share their story at business conferences, always returning with renewed appreciation for the stable foundation they had built at home. During one of his presentations, Raj shared a profound realization. His greatest business achievement wasn't the workshop's financial success but how it had become a place of healing for others. Every piece of furniture that left the workshop carried with it the spirit of restoration and hope that had brought their family back together. Priya noticed changes in herself too. The constant fear of abandonment that had haunted her began to fade as she watched Raj prioritize family alongside business success. Their partnership grew stronger as they faced new challenges together, their shared experiences creating a deeper understanding between them. The youth program expanded to include a mentorship component, pairing children from challenging family situations with adult mentors from the community. The program emphasized not just woodworking skills but also emotional intelligence and communication. Many of the mentors were people who had been inspired by their family's journey of reconciliation. Lily continued to flourish, her confidence growing as she saw the lasting impact of her brave decision to write that letter. She started a school club focused on letter writing and communication, helping other children find their voices through written words. The club became so popular that other schools in the region began implementing similar programs. As spring bloomed fully, the family found themselves at the center of a community that had been transformed by love, hope, and the power of second chances. The workshop stood as a testament to what was possible when broken things were rebuilt with care and purpose. The little girl's letter had not only changed their family overnight, it had created a legacy of healing that would continue to touch lives for generations to come. 1 year had passed since the letter that changed everything. The coastal town had transformed into a symbol of family reconciliation, drawing visitors from across the country who sought to understand how a child's letter could spark such profound change. The workshop, now a thriving business, stood as a testament to second chances and the power of community healing. On the anniversary of Raj's return, the family organized a special celebration that brought together everyone who had been part of their journey. Uncle G catered the event with his signature dishes, Mr. Kim contributed vegetables from his now expanded garden, and Mrs. Chen shared stories about delivering that fateful letter. The celebration took place in the workshop's community space, where walls now displayed hundreds of photographs documenting their year of healing. Lily's book, recently published, had its own special corner. Titled The Letter That Came Home, it had already touched countless families dealing with separation and loss. During the celebration, Dr. Patel announced the establishment of a foundation in Lily's name, dedicated to supporting families through reconciliation. The foundation would provide counseling services, workshops, and resources to help other families navigate their own healing journeys. The announcement brought tears to Lily's eyes as she realized how far her simple act of writing a letter had reached. Priya's college course had evolved into a full program studying family dynamics and reconciliation. She now led a research team documenting various approaches to family healing, with their story serving as a central case study. Her work was changing how professionals approached family therapy and reconciliation. The workshop's youth program had expanded beyond woodworking. It now included art therapy, writing workshops, and family counseling sessions. Children who once came to learn about woodcrafting stayed to heal their own family wounds. The sound of saws and sanders mixed with laughter and conversation, creating a symphony of healing. Raj had found his true calling as both a craftsman and a mentor. His furniture designs, inspired by themes of family and reconciliation, gained recognition in the industry. But more importantly, he had become a guide for other fathers working to rebuild relationships with their children. His morning talks with young apprentices often touched on themes of mental health, responsibility, and the courage to ask for help. Lily, now 9 years old, had grown into a confident young girl who understood the power of words and actions. She started a pen pal program connecting children from separated families across different cities. The program helped kids share their experiences and find strength in knowing they weren't alone. The letter box in the park had inspired similar installations in other communities. Each box became a beacon of hope, collecting stories of love, forgiveness, and reunion. Local artists decorated them with butterflies and mailboxes, paying homage to the original letter that started it all. The family's home had changed too. Once filled with silence and painful memories, it now buzzed with life and possibility. Family dinners became a daily celebration of their journey, with conversations flowing freely between past and present. Photographs of their separation years no longer brought pain but served as reminders of their strength and resilience. Nanny's role in their story received special recognition during the celebration. Her unwavering faith in family healing had provided the foundation for their reconciliation. She now led weekly gatherings for grandparents, helping their families through similar situations, sharing wisdom that bridged generations. The town itself had become a model for community-supported healing. Other cities sent representatives to study how business, community, and family could work together to create environments conducive to reconciliation. The workshop's integrated approach to family healing through practical skills became a blueprint for similar programs nationwide. As the celebration continued into the evening, Lily shared something she had been working on secretly: a new letter. This time, it wasn't written to bring someone home, but to thank everyone who had helped their family heal. Her words, read aloud under the warm workshop lights, captured the essence of their journey. The letter spoke of hope found in broken places, strength discovered in vulnerability, and love that persisted through the darkest times. It thanked the community for believing in second chances, and celebrated how one small act of faith could ripple outward to touch countless lives. As night fell, the family stood together outside the workshop, watching lanterns float into the sky, each one carrying messages of hope written by celebration attendees. The sight of hundreds of glowing lights rising into the darkness perfectly symbolized how their story had illuminated paths for others. The little girl's letter had done more than change their lives overnight, it had started a movement of healing that continued to grow and evolve. Their story proved that sometimes the most powerful changes begin with the simplest acts of love, written in the unshakable faith of a child's heart. As the last lantern disappeared into the night sky, Lily held both her parents' hands, their shadows merging into one on the workshop wall behind them. They stood as living proof that broken things could be rebuilt stronger than before, and that love, given time and trust, could heal even the deepest wounds.